guys, it's Kira. What on earth is going on with It Ends With Us? And how did such a successful book movie adaptation turn into such a PR drama? And we'll be looking at it through the lens of psychology and how the breach and break of the audience trust has been the key underlining for this whole mess. Big disclaimer, this movie and books have themes around domestic violence, regardless of how little the author and main actress want to talk about it. So we will be discussing DV domestic violence in this video, so if that's something you're comfortable with, you're more than welcome to turn away. Totally understandable. I want to give you a disclaimer so that you're aware what you're going into today. We're going to dive into the brief history of It Ends With Us, how people were already not pleased with the way that Colleen Hoover had tried to make money off this book previously. The audience's response to the movie, obviously, kind of like the promo drama and the dethroning of Blakel Livelys' celebrity status, social media. Again, how this is a really good example of what happens when you break your audience trust. So, It Ends With Us came out in 2016, but the book had a very large resurgence in popularity due to book talk around 2019-2020. The book is based off Colleen Hoover's mother's experience of abuse with Colleen's father. In case you were not aware, this book is based off domestic violence. In the book, it is perpetrated by the main character's partner. Now, I personally never read the book. I just watched the internet discuss it from the sidelines, so I cannot comment on the quality of the writing, the plot. If I remember correctly, the internet was a bit it's a bit whatever. Now, in 2023, it was discovered that Colleen Hoover was creating a colouring book based off It Ends With Us, and personally, and many other people on the internet didn't have a bar of it. They all felt that she could probably have made a colouring book of literally any other of her stories and it wouldn't have felt as insensitive. People felt that it made a mockery of a very important topic. It's very heavy subject matter, and some people tossed around the idea of it romanticizing it, and it really just swept under the rug the seriousness of the themes. And we're going to come back to the feeling of it being swept under the rug later on as well. And fair enough. I don't know what planet somebody is on that thinks that profiting of a colouring book off a book based on their mother's experience of domestic violence is an at all okay thing to do. That's just kind of a brief history, pop culture, social media's existence with It Ends With Us. So, fast forward to 2023. It Ends With Us is coming out, the promo is kind of happening, and people are kind of starting to notice some weird things. Number one, Justin Baldoni, who is the director of this film, is not in any promo with his co-workers, the author, and especially Blake Lively, who is his on-screen partner. The rest of the cast, including Colleen Hoover, are all doing their promo together with Blake Lively. The separation and tension is loud and clear to the audience, which is very unusual. Traditionally, injunctions, promo, red carpet press, their main casts interact. They have banter. It shows a uniformity in the cast and usually reflects well on the environment of which the film was produced. It quickly became apparent that Justin cares about portraying the themes of domestic violence in this movie, and he supports the survivor community. This man partnered with the No More Foundation, who supports survivors of domestic violence with easy access to help. This is huge, genuinely. This partnership is organized to ensure that the themes were portrayed correctly, which is super important in such a movie, and with care for the survivors, which I think it needs to be getting talked about way more. But unfortunately, it has kind of been steamrolled with all this Blake Lively PR drama. Truly, we need to be talking more about how much this man has actually cared and put in a lot of effort. Justin has also spoken in multiple interviews that his goal for this movie was to get people to stop asking, why did you stay? Or why didn't you leave? He wanted to help change the victim blaming narrative, which is a massive problem. And frankly, for a man to recognize his privilege and actively uses his resources to help a disenfranchised community that is survivors of domestic violence is really refreshing and really nice. And then we have Little Miss Blake Lively, Little Miss Colleen Hoover, telling the girls that this movie is a rom-com, where the florals. See, this girly love movie is insane. Hurts my brain. The lack of transparency from them has left many people in bad spots in the cinema, which I will expand on later. But to put it plainly, they are breaking their audience's trust while Justin is gaining it. He's being honest, he's being open, he's caring for the community. This is, I'll go into later, but it's literally a part of what makes people trust an expert's opinion is their care. So on top of this, in recordings of the promo, Blake Lively has been recorded to completely avoid talking about the topics of DV, like completely disregarding it, won't answer the question, will go around it without ever mentioning domestic violence, like those words even. This complete disregard of a very triggering theme has left a really bad taste in people's mouths. Not very women supporting women of you, Blake. Now, getting to Blake's downfall. Because of Blake's blatant disregard to the very serious themes in this movie, the internet has turned on her, and turned on her quickly. Never in my wildest dreams would I have thought that I would see such a quick downfall, but of not only her, but her relationship with Ryan Reynolds, because she dragged him into this shit too. Blake is scrambling, and people are seeing through it. Above mentioned, people are not impressed with the lack of transparency, have essentially decided, I guess, to condemn her because of the very obvious repercussions that happen when you are ignorant. The internet is pissed when you purposely allow people to see something that could be triggering because the other narrative supports you better. People will turn. There has been a really big shift in like celebrity culture, and the internet in general population are holding celebrity to a much higher standard. You know, like, we know how these people make money. We know the power that we hold in their life cycle and, again, how they make money. And people have kind of taken their power back. And I don't think Blake Lively expected that to happen. And she's witnessing firsthand what happens when you break your audience's trust. Not to mention, people are upset that she was using this movie, again, a movie about domestic violence, to promote her hair care line. Like, she just happened to release this big hair care line its entire during the promo of this movie, and it's tone deaf. And the reviews are shit as well. The return rate to Target's really high. So how do you drop the ball that many times? And she's gonna do it again because Kira, how is Ryan Reynolds involved? You know, like, he's off doing his own thing. Well, Blake dragged him into this. So she let slip in an interview that Ryan rewrote, I believe it was the rooftop scene in this movie, in It Ends With Us. A rewrite that the original writers were not aware of. And it took place during the writer's strike, a period in time where Ryan couldn't even improv in his own film, Deadpool and Wolverine, because he was the writer on it, because it would have been considered a breach of the SAG strike, as he's a SAG writer. It's a big no-no in the film industry, which has now added a whole new element of unprofessionalism and disrespect to his pupils who abided by the strike. Right, like, these people didn't work because that's what the strike is. Also, her constant need to bring up Deadpool and Wolverine is nuts. Like, she's bringing it up when they're asking questions about her new movie. Like, Deadpool and Wolverine have nothing to do with this movie. Oh my god, I saw a clip where she, like, walks up to the interviewer and she looks up, like, they must be at a cinema or something. And she's like, oh, Deadpool and Wolverine, like, oh, I can't believe they're doing so well. But, like, we're going to take them out, like, once our movie's released. I just was like... I'll insert it if I can find it.
Deadpool Wolverine sold out. I'm sorry, I got distracted back there. I feel offended, but we're not out yet. That's fine. I'm happy about that. No, I didn't even answer it. Sorry, it's like flashing sold out.
But I just was like, oh my god. And like, she was trying to play it off very coy, very subtle, but it was blatantly obvious. We're not stupid, right? So people are upset with her about this. They're upset with Ryan because he broke strike. So they're going for their kind of whole relationship now. Blake has been coined the plantation princess because her and Ryan got married at a plantation. Gross. Don't know why you'd get married at a plantation. Just poor choice, guys. There's nothing you can really say. Just poor choice. With all of this happening, Blake Lively has been scrambling to get her reputation sorted and, frankly, turn the tables back on Justin, because it is very much a Justin versus Blake thing at the moment. She's doing a shit job. One of her big calls was that Justin had apparently been fatphobic towards her. Here's the incident. Justin. History of back issues. Justin has to pick Blake Lively up, a whole human being, for a scene. So he goes to the on-site PT and asks, what's the best way that I can pick her up without fucking my back up again, essentially, right? He's doing the professional thing, looking after himself, because once your back's fucked, right? As somebody who has a fucked back. Blake hears about this and takes it as him making comments about her weight. Apparently she'd just given birth to her fourth child. Likely she was a bit insecure about the way she was looking. This is a you issue, Blake. If you were tasked with picking up a whole ass human and you did not ask for help to make sure that you did it in the safest way possible, you'd be stupid. You'd just be stupid. So the general consensus is, Blake, that's a you issue. We're all very sad that you're feeling a little insecure about how your body looks post fourth baby. Totally fair. You're probably feeling out of place in your body. You've just given birth. Whole thing. However, Just no. Just no. Sorry, girl. No way. The other instance that has come out is that Blake Lively commented that he made her uncomfortable during a kissing scene. Now, I don't want to discredit anything in her account, but films as big as this one have staff on site called intimacy coordinators. Their job is to work with the actors, defend them, be that like vocalization of support regarding intimacy scenes. They plan out the scenes with directors and writers to make sure that there's no one's being taken advantage of. They are also there to ensure at all times the parties are consenting and comfortable performing these intimacy scenes. They are checking in regularly to make sure that none of the actors feel like they can't speak out, because that's what the intimacy coordinators are. They speak out for them. So then we get to the audience reaction. Now, I'm sure you can guess how the audiences have reacted to this film, and it's not been fantastic. I'm going to be transparent. I have no desire to see this movie because of the way that Blake Lively has handled it, which is a shame, which is a real shame, because Justin clearly put so much work as the director into this film and has a real clear appreciation for its themes, and like he's coming in it with honesty, right? And just as everybody predicted, people are going to the cinema to see this film and expecting to see a cute little rom-com wearing their florals. Get to the movies with your florals, girlies. And that's not what they saw. And lots of people all know that they were not prepared for the clear undertones and domestic violent themes. Thanks, Blake and Colleen. People are flooding to social media to talk about their experiences. I know of somebody personally who was going to go see this movie with their partner, and once they found out that it was heavily riddled with domestic violence, they went, no fucking way in hell. That is not an appropriate film for me to see with my partner based on personal history. Absolutely not. They would have gone and seen that movie if the person in the room did not know the real themes of that movie. So, like, it's just the re-traumatizing. It's abundant, it's prevalent, and it's horrible. To actually do that to somebody is fucked up. So, people have walked out of cinemas in the middle of the movie because it was too confronting for them. There are also, and like, I also want to acknowledge that there have been some people who have enjoyed the representation that it gave. And lots of people have said online that Justin did a really good job at directing this film and bringing light to these themes. So some people have enjoyed the film. The majority of them knew of its themes and still were able to make an educated decision. So again, not that it's a bad movie. This is not a judgment of the movie. I've heard that it's pretty good. People have enjoyed it. However, people have enjoyed the lack of transparency. So, Kira, where does all the trust and stuff come in? Well, let me tell you. I'm going to use some psychology here. I may as well use my degree for something. People believe experts. Stay with me. All the pieces are coming together. I trust. I won't lie. I didn't know who Justin was before this. Didn't have a clue who that man was. But myself and probably a large proportion of the audience for this movie knew Blake Lively. Miss Gossip Girl, Canadian sweetheart and beloved to Ryan Reynolds. You know, they've cultivated a very fun relationship online. She's known. So, she is the expert, and kind of Colleen too. What is the connection here? It's trust. In regards to psychological research, there are three main factors that influences a trust in an expert. In this case, Blake Lively is the expert, and kind of Colleen Hoover. How we perceive the individual's level of expertise, integrity, and benevolence, which is concern and care for society. When we go see a movie that one of our favourite actors or even a prolific actor is in, we like or have heard good things regarding their previous work. You know, they're an expert, they're an actor, that's their expertise. Also, we trust that they were cast appropriately by the other experts in the field, other professional, the directors, the casting team, all professional and experts, right? We trust that they are honest about the thing that they're promoting. Not this time, and heaven forbid, a movie regarding DV. We trust that you care about the community and care of society. Surely you wouldn't purposely be ignorant so that it hurts that community. You're hurting the survivors. You're re-traumatizing those survivors. And also, Blake is not solely breaking the audience's trust. I'm looking at you, Colleen. Looking at you. This is your work. You should be the biggest expert for this book that you wrote based off your mother's experience with DV. You have, once again, swept under the rug the seriousness of this film, movie, plot, themes. Only this time, this movie wasn't cancelled like your colouring book was. The blatant disregard for the foundation that Justin has worked so tirelessly with to ensure this movie is done appropriately, you know, and the complete disregard of the foundation that Justin partnered with for survivors of domestic violence, survivors like your mother, Colleen, frankly, shows a real lack of care for community and society. So, that's kind of it, right? We have both Blake and Colleen breaking their audience's trust, which leaves the internet siding with Justin, as he's behaved in ways that have cultivated a deep trust for him and the way that he's handled and his care for this project. Like, I can't sum it up anymore. So, what's next? Because obviously this book has a sequel, and Justin has already publicly I don't know if I'd say confirmed, but they asked him about what's going to happen for the next book, and Justin point blank just said Blake can direct it. That's a real shame, because he is the only one who has done this movie and anybody who's watching it a service. He's done right by everybody involved. You know, his heart was in the right place. He went above and beyond to make sure that this movie served its purpose, that it helped. And unfortunately, external circumstances have pushed him out of his passion project. And Colleen's kind of walking around scot-free, in my opinion. And the very quick and very public breakdown of Blakel Livelys' likeness is mostly attributed to her breaking her audience's trust. That's kind of it. That was just kind of my take. I really wanted to have a more like nuanced conversation. It was a perspective on this whole debacle that I thought hadn't been spoken about. Would be a nice kind of psychological insight into why people are actually so upset about this, what's going on internally. You know, this is much more than just celebrities being a bit shitty. Like, something else is going on here. So yeah, I just kind of want to bring a new light, a different perspective. Thanks for listening to me ramble. If you want to see more videos about me breaking down media, pop culture-y stuff with a psychological twist, please stick around. Okay, bye.